so we like to say that we're the really lucky people who get to create life-changing partnerships for people with disabilities, partnerships between those people who need them and our highly skilled dogs. I call it changing lives for a positive time. We train and place highly skilled mobility dogs. So primarily with people with things like Parkinson's or cerebral palsy, using walkers, wheelchairs, whatever, the dogs can help them get around. Got a couple quotes here from some of our clients. Can you see what you're doing? All right. So this is Linda Fleming. She lives in Auburn. I was going to invite her to come today, but I thought, yeah, it's traffic in this early hour. So sorry, no dog. But she says Phoenix means independence, acceptance, and unconditional love. And most of our clients say that that's one of the biggest things, is that the dogs really sort of open up their lives by making them more approachable. People always love to ask people about their dogs, and so if they feel like they're more human than if they're just by themselves. This is Eric and Titus. Eric lives up in Edmonds. He's a graphic designer. And he says, Titus opened up a whole new world of opportunity for me. We've had so many great shared experiences. It's hard to put into words all the things he's done for me. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a minute. It is something very special. Lacey lives in Stanwood. And she says it's such a gift to have Isabel. She's right by my side and knows when to put her head on my lap, smile, and give me a kiss, letting me know it's all going to be okay. So, I mean, in addition to the tasks that they do, which I'll talk about in a minute, there really is just it helps alleviate depression and, again, makes them feel more approachable. So the reason we're in business is about 55 million Americans live with some kind of a disability. And the average wait, not just with our organization, but with any service dog organization, people generally are going to wait 2 to 5 years because it takes a very long time. It takes just about 2 full years from puppy to ready to place. So there are lots of organizations doing this. There's only 2 here in Western Washington, another one up in Bellingham. We always say we encourage our clients, our applicants, to apply elsewhere because if somebody else can get them a dog sooner than we can, that's great. So we don't consider anybody else competition unless they're trying to fundraise in our area. Then they're competition. So the kinds of things they do, and you'll see this in a minute if the video does what it's supposed to do. They can open and close doors. They're taught to tug on doors. When I showed you Eric back there a couple slides ago, Titus, as most of our dogs are, is trained to like pull a tug and open the refrigerator door. Well, Eric kept training Titus to now where he can say beer. And Titus not only opens the door, he brings him a beer. So the dogs keep learning. They're very smart, very dedicated. They can operate light switches, and of course the door buttons on the handicapped access. One of the things we always tell our clients when we're training them with their dog is always keep a phone in the exact same place in the house. And when we start working with them, the dog knows to go to that place if there's an emergency, if the person falls. If they fall and the phone's with them in the bathroom, the dog doesn't know where the phone is. So that's a really important skill we teach them. And of course, I'd already mentioned depression, alleviating depression. So I may have to adjust the volume on this, so let's see what happens.
55 million Americans are living with disabilities. Garrett is one of them.
I want a summit assistance dog because I want it to be able to help me do stuff that I couldn't really do without another person helping me. It's our take, no more, it cannot wait, I'm yours.
At Summit Assistance Dogs, our goal is to provide highly skilled mobility, hearing, and therapy dogs for people in need. With the help of our trainers, every dog completes an intense program tailored to their natural strengths.
I look into your heart and you'll find love, 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 love.
We tell our applicants that they can expect to wait from 2 to 4 years. When we decide that we have a possible match, I can't get to a phone fast enough to make the call.
Garrett, hi, this is Wendy from Summit Assistance Dogs. Well, we've picked the dog for you. We've picked Bergie.
Mom, I got Bergie. Oh, this is the start of something good. Don't you agree? I've been waiting for a dog for about 3 years. It's been worth the wait, definitely, so I'm excited. And all really want is you to stick around. I'll see you every day.
I remember when Garrett first applied to our program, and now he's going into high school, and he doesn't have to be nervous about that change because he'll have a dog by his side. So what they will see is the cool kid with the dog, not who's that kid in the wheelchair.
Me and Bergie are so much alike, and it's just amazing how well they could do it. Yeah, it takes a long time, but it's most definitely worth it. Yeah.
I see an amazing transformation in people's lives when they receive a dog from us.
At the end of the day, he gets a best friend and a pal. And
to me, he seems like the best dog anyone could ask for.
But without help from people just like you, Summit could not exist.
My life is going to change, and I'm just waiting for the day that call comes and I can get a dog.
Oh, this is the start of something good. Don't you agree? I haven't felt like this for so many moons. You know what I mean? You're gonna have to follow. This is the start of something good. Don't you agree?
Summit Assistance Dogs. Love Unleashed.
I've seen that video. Because Zoe was talking about it so much. So bear with me, especially because one of the dogs just can't put this anymore. Stop. Okay. Training and matchmaking. We mostly start with puppies. We have taken some older dogs out of shelters if they look like they're promising, but it's kind of a gamble because you just don't know what that dog's been through before. And our puppies are raised in foster homes. We need foster homes. We love our foster homes. There's a flyer on the table about being a foster home if you're interested. Generally, the puppies will go to the foster home in about 8 weeks, and they'll be there anywhere from 6 months to maybe a year. Just depends on when we have the capacity to take them into more advanced training. But the foster homes do the basic fun things that anybody who's ever had a puppy knows. It's not necessarily always pleasant, the housebreaking and so forth. But the biggest thing we try to encourage is that they have pretty much nothing but positive experiences because we want these dogs to be comfortable out in the community. A lot of people take their puppies to work, which is just great because then they get used to being around other people. We have a prison program, training program at the Monroe Correctional Facility that I'll tell you about a little bit more. But our puppies go there generally, it depends, around maybe 8 or 9 months old, and they go in for 9 weeks. It just depends on when they're ready, but I'll talk a little bit more about that. And then when they're ready, they come back to us at Summit. We are currently kind of operating sort of out of Anacortes, but getting ready to build on Whidbey Island, so we're pretty excited. But they come back and then go through the advanced training with our 2 trainers. So that's kind of a limited capacity on what we can turn out, and that process could take 8 months to a year, depending on what all the dog needs to learn. And then once we feel a dog is ready to be placed with somebody, we do some screening of our applicants and see who might be a good fit. And we really want it to be more than just the task. We want it to be kind of like a match made in heaven, if you will. The dog and the person have to really click to make it work. And so we always tell our clients, it's not first come, first served. You might only wait 6 months if we've got the perfect match. You might wait 5 years if either you're picky or we don't have a good match for you. So then when we're ready to put them with the client, they go through a 2-week, very intensive training program on site with us. we call it team training because we're just teaching the team to work together. Clients tend to call it boot camp because it's 2 full weeks with Sunday off. So there's a lot of work that goes into it all day, every day during that time. And then once we turn over a dog, we don't just walk away. We do lifetime follow-up with the client. If they need any like fine-tuning or they have some adaptability issues when they first get the dogs home, we'll work with them. And then we do an annual, what we call a public access test. And that's just making sure that the handler and the dog are both behaving properly to be seen out in public. Because image is very important for us. We don't want an ill-behaved dog out there romping around and barking at people and whatever. So, okay, we're into our 8th year now with this program, and it's been really exciting. They have a carefully screened group of inmates who work with dogs, and they live 24/7. And these guys, we go down and train twice a week to train them to be trainers. And but they found that they've become so committed to this program that Monroe's actually expanded the grooming area and expanded the play yard for the dogs. So they're really committed because the inmates get as much out of it as we do. They in that 9 weeks, they learn compassion, they learn communication, they learn patience and anger management. And if they have one infraction, they're out of this program because it's the cream of the crop of the jobs at the prison. So it's wonderful for us because these guys, some of them have been with us the whole time we've had the program, and they're becoming so good at assessing these dogs, they can really help us determine, is this dog going to make it, or is it time to release that dog and put him up for adoption? So it's pretty much life-changing for these guys. So we've been in business, we're just going into our 18th year. We have more than 85 graduate pairs. We'd like to have a whole lot more than that, but doing the best we can. And we most of the time have anywhere from 25 to 30 people on our waiting list. And the reason they're waiting so long is with just 2 trainers. They have to work with these dogs in their homes because we don't have a facility yet. We're on our way, I'll tell you about that in a minute. So they might be living with 1 or 2 of our dogs in training 24/7 along with whatever their household pets are. So it really limits our capacity to turn out dogs. So the exciting part for us, our Bailey address is still Anacortes, which is where we've been for the last 17 years, out of rental property. And it was actually started, our director started it in her basement at her house on Buenos Island, just across from Anacortes. And we gradually moved up to what was really, I mean, seriously, just a large broom closet, storage room at a retirement facility in Anacortes that the guy who was the board president let us use for free for a while. Then we moved to a pretty yucky rented place when we bought our property about 3 years ago on Whidbey. We decided to just quit paying rent on a place that had a leaky roof and the whole bit. So we've all been operating out of our homes. I like to say we're a large multi-office organization. I'm the Burlington office. Our director is the Mount Vernon office. Our office manager is the Anacortes office. One of our trainers is the Stanwood office. So we're kind of strewed all over. Our development director lives in Seattle. So, you know, we've actually found ourselves communicating better than when we used to have a place that maybe only 2 or 3 people would be there at a time. We do weekly telephone updates now, and we all have a lot better handle on what's going on. So it's actually improved our communication. I hope it keeps up in a couple of years after we get to move into this place. But anyway, we were so excited a few years ago. We were able to buy this beautiful 17-acre piece of property on North Whidbey Island, just north of the Oak Harbor base. So our dogs get used to noise because those jets fly over quite often, very close back. Sometimes if they're flying low enough, you can actually see the guys in the cockpit. That's how close we are to the base. But it's fabulous. We're probably going to only occupy about 5 of those acres, and then we're going to keep the rest in natural lands. We're going to have kind of a memorial walkway through the woods, and we'll have doggy memorabilia remembrances. So the very first building we're going to do is this one over here, and that's going to be a kennel facility. And that's going to let us house dogs who would otherwise be in foster homes. Like if they come out of prison and we don't have a trainer available, they'll either go back for another round at prison, or they'll go to with foster homes. So we have the puppy homes, and then we have what we call respite homes. Might be a dog waiting to be adopted, might be a dog waiting to go with our trainers. So once we have this, our trainers could go in and work with maybe up to 20 dogs a day instead of 1 or 2 in their homes for months. The middle building is going to be actually our big training facility and administrative offices. And the last one we'll do, when and if we have enough funds, is a dormitory. We would like to be able to house the clients who have to come to team training, because they are totally responsible for their own housing. And that means if they don't have a friend in the area for that 2 weeks, they have to stay in a hotel. And a lot of times these folks are on disability incomes, or just not working at all, or have huge medical expenses. So that's a huge hit for them. So we would like to be able to house them for those couple of weeks, and probably have 3 or 4 2-week training sessions a year. So it would never be occupied all the time, but it's a gift we'd like to give. And we do not charge for our dogs. Some organizations will charge as much as $25,000 or $30,000, which is about what it takes to turn out a finished dog. If you consider all the puppies you buy, and all the vet bills and all the food, and then the dogs who don't make it in the program, we release to up for adoption. And our office manager, the Anacortes office, is really fussy. We make sure that these are the right homes for these dogs. So that's really, I will just open it up for questions now if anybody has any.